Hello, my beautiful artist. I had, I wanted to hop on here and answer some fun questions you guys have sent me. Some of them make me kind of chuckle, and some of them are very valid, and I think the typical questions that I might ask as well. So, I suppose I'll start with the funniest question, and you'd be surprised how many times I'm asked this, and I always laugh to myself. Is my hair real? So, I'm not sure exactly what they're asking, so I'll just kind of cover it all. I don't wear a wig. I don't have extensions. I don't have pieces of fake hair. Um, it's all mine. That's one thing I've been blessed with my whole life, and I take care of it, and it's all mine. So, and I have a lot of hair. Yes, I have a lot of hair and it's naturally curly. That's the other question. Is your hair naturally curly? Yes, it is very curly. Um, so I hope that answers that. I'm 61. I just turned 61 in August. I get asked a lot how long I've been painting. I've been painting since as long as I can remember. I remember being probably 5 or something and painting, and just always loved it. I always had watercolors. Um, I was constantly drawing and painting, and mostly drawing and painting. I always loved crafts, but always drawing and painting. So I've been painting since I was as long as I can remember. Through my marriages, even when I had businesses and I was so busy, it was like my happy place to go to. Um, let's see, another question. Yes, I did take quite a few classes in college years and years and years ago. Um, I loved them. I loved my professors. I had a few professors that were not probably the right fit for me. They were total purists and had lots of rules, which was probably good for me to know. But you know, that's all I'll say about that. They were all great. I took it all through high school. I was always entering like art contests. Pen and ink was one of my favorite in high school with watercolors, and I actually won quite a few awards for that. So pen and ink, some things never change. Watercolors, pen and ink, all that stuff. I still love that, as you see in my videos. Another question. So somebody asked me how I got into kind of sharing my art. So for years growing up, my whole life, I was always painting, never thought much about it or thought, wow, I'm a great artist. I just loved it. I loved it. I loved doing it. I never really judged my work, so to speak. I hung it up in my room, family and friends always grabbed it, but it was kind of like, of course they're going to like it. They're my family and friends. They have to. So I have very little paintings from a long time ago and throughout life because I would throw a lot away, or I just really didn't care about them. I just painted because I loved it. And my mom over the years grabbed a lot of it. Friends would always ask, oh, can I have that? It's like, take it, I don't care. So fast forwarding a little bit, and my husband that I'm with, actually I'll correct that, we're not married, but we've been together an awfully long, long, long time. And we knew each other in high school. Little fun fact, personal fun fact. About 12 years ago, quite often I would paint late at night because that was when I had time and it was quiet and my daughters were asleep, and it was just kind of like, I'm gonna go sneak away. I would always sit on the floor, get out my little paints. I had Winsor Newton because since college I was taught use Winsor Newton. So that's what I used, in my Princeton brushes. So I always had piles laying around, and he found one, and I think it was dragonflies. And he said, can I have this? I said, as usual, take it, I don't care. Well, he shared it on Facebook, and I will tell you guys, I was mortified, completely mortified, because I felt like, oh my God, everybody's going to judge me. Like, I've never shared that publicly. I, it, I don't even know the whole gamut of what I felt. And he didn't think anything of it. He was like, this is, my girlfriend. I never knew she painted. I found this on the floor and I'm just finding out, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. She's an artist. And skipping forward, kind of fast forwarding, I got the best support. I got people asking me to paint them things. Everybody was just so kind. So from that, eventually that led to me entering or being a participant and then asked and invited to really, really large events. I was living at the beach at the time. And so I did that for a while. Got asked more and more to create commissions, which I did. Love them. I created a card line over a decade ago. It's was on Amazon and Etsy. I still have some left, and I put them on Etsy every once in a while, and you guys will catch them. And you'll order, a pack. So it's always kind of funny. And my art was in lots of boutiques up and down the beach in northern San Diego. I had private collectors in Carlsbad, Laguna Beach, all over that I painted lots for. They keep asking me to paint for them. I had that boho series, which you've maybe seen, of the girls with flowers, and I really got kind of stuck into that because people loved it so much, and I did that for several years. It was on magazine covers and, blah, blah, blah. I was interviewed for lots of magazines, and it was great. It was definitely an experience I'm glad I had. So again, fast forwarding a little bit more, the last several years, probably since COVID, I started being asked to teach more. And that's when I started teaching online, Zoom calls, different things like that, because of course we were all stuck in the house. And that kind of grew. I still had my card line. I was making products on Society 6, tote bags. I was teaching yoga, and a lot of my students would buy my yoga mats and my tote bags and my beautiful plush throws and shirts and all that kind of fun stuff. So anyways, I started teaching, and I just realized how much I love teaching, which I kind of knew. I'd been teaching other things, mindfulness and such. That's a whole nother story. For a global company. I knew I loved teaching. I love inspiring people. So that's where I'm at today. I hope that answered a lot of the questions. Now I mostly teach. I don't really do commissions so much anymore. I'd love to create cards. I don't really have the time. I just came out with my new online course for beginners, and I just love, over the years, this is something I do know. I've noticed it in myself. I've noticed it about you guys. And when I do my workshops here in my home and I have people here, when it's fun, when you're inspired by what you're painting or colors or nature or fruit or people or whatever it is you like to paint, and you get excited about it, it's something that wakes you up, like gets me out of bed in the middle of the night or makes me sit up late like it did for years, painting on the floor with barely light. That's when you make the leaps, you jump, you make these jumps, you learn, and you love learning, and you want to get up and practice. You want to do brush strokes, you want to get better. And when you have that inspiration and that excitement for what you're doing, and it's made fun, because there was a lot of college courses I took that I was like, I got to paint this, I got to turn it in, and it has to be done with all her rules, and oh yeah, I can't do that because that's bad, that's not right. But when it's fun, when you're excited about something, you do the practice, you get better, you try things that maybe you would think were too hard, but you're so excited to paint it, you just can't wait. And you make progress. And the more you practice and you're excited and you're enjoying it, you develop that muscle memory where you sit down to paint and you just automatically know how to make a flower petal or a leaf, or how to see darks and light values. And it just really becomes fun and you learn so much easier. And when you get in that zone, you have confidence. Like now I see things. Like even my birthday was the other day and I had ice cream and I'm like, huh, look at how pretty that is. I want to paint that. And right away I was like, I know different ways to paint it, but a sponge. And I couldn't wait to get home, pull out my paints and just start painting it. So when you get to that point, because it's so much fun and you feel free, you grow and you learn. And next thing you know, you're like, I love this. I love this medium. I love painting. I feel confident. I feel excited. And this I'll tell you guys, I can always tell when you guys send me your paintings, which I get a lot, and seeing it in my classes, my workshops here in person, or when I teach one-on-ones, I can always tell when somebody was painting and they were worried and they were like, oh God, I'm not doing this right, or, oh, it has to be this way, or they're, perfectionists. I can always see it in their paintings and I see it tight and I see they have a little stress in it, as compared to, I taught children for numerous years. You guys, let me tell you, they just paint. They don't even care. What we would sit down, I taught fine art to children, and we always explored all the different artists and, pointillism, impressionism, and all the different painters. And what I would do would be to show them a painting and tell them about the artist and how they painted. And I'd say, okay, let's us sit down and paint this using those techniques and methods. And it was so fun and interesting to watch them, because they would sit down and paint something and some of them would really be intense and trying to do it right and all that. And then you had those ones that just, they painted something and brought it to me and were so excited, Miss Walker, look at this, look what I painted, I'm so excited. And they'd be throwing paint around and have paint all over them, and it would look nothing like what we were painting. And they were so excited and they were so happy and had so much fun. And that's what it's about. That's what I teach now, because I've been through it has to be perfect and rules, and don't use white paint because, you have to leave white spaces and all the purist things, which I'm not saying there's not a place for. And if that's how you like learning, this is not saying there isn't value in knowing those things. But when you can just sit down and find what excites you and find what you're pulled to want to paint, and the colors and the brushes and the teachers, it's a huge difference and it's a game changer. So anyway, I hope that answered a lot of the questions I get asked a lot. And I'm just so happy to have you guys here with me in our little community here, and I'm always trying to listen to you guys. I just invested quite a bit in that online course, so I'm always going to have free material for you. I'm always trying to share drawings and all my free YouTubes that I spend a lot of hours on, but I love it. I love painting, you guys. I also have this class that I invested in for some of you that just want to go a little deeper, and I had my Zoom classes, but they were a little bit challenging because people from all over the world were joining us and everybody's on different times. So it was hard for a lot of people for me to choose a time that we all could be there. So I thought, I need to make an online course. It's only $45. It's the same amount as the Zoom classes, but you have worksheets, you have fun practices. I have videos with every lesson. You can watch it over and over and at your own pace. I have people saying they're watching it when they're driving on vacation or they're up late at night or what have you. So it's really versatile and it's comprehensive, and most of all, it's fun. So I hope you will look at all of these things. I'm also on Instagram. I do some things on there, on Facebook. I'm all about the community. I'm all about being here for you and trying to listen to you and see what kind of learner you are that I enjoy teaching. And really, my intention is always to make you feel like, and this is the feedback I'm getting from my online courses as well as the YouTube tutorials, is you make it fun. I love your enthusiasm. Um, you make it doable. You break it down. You make it simple. And when you have that ease and there's not all this pressure, and you're enjoying what you paint and whatever teacher you might be following, that's when you're going to learn. That's when you're going to progress. That's when you're going to get the muscle memory, the skills, the confidence. And I just invite you to step into that. So if you have more questions, feel free to put them down below. And meanwhile, I hope to see you all in a class. If you have ideas for future online courses, I'd love to hear them. And I hope you will check out my new online course. But meanwhile, I have tons of free stuff, you guys. Tons of free stuff. I do have my brushes coming out as well. So I can't wait to share all that with you. And just thank you so much for being here. I've only been here a little over a year, and it's just been so much fun. More fun than I ever imagined. And you guys are just great. You're so supportive. And I couldn't do any of this without you, honestly, because you help me enjoy it. So I think that's it. Let's all keep enjoying this unbelievable medium and keep having fun. And I will talk to you guys all soon. All right. Thanks, everybody. Happy painting.